What's up, folks? My beard is all sorts of weird right now. We just woke up from naps a little bit ago and I haven't ran a comb through it or anything. What's up, everybody? Whew. Another Monday Musings episode. I think this is 72. Pre-recording on the 17th of July. How's everyone doing? It's hot. It's 95 today. It's going to be mid 90s all week, but not as hot as it is in the States. I've heard some people talk about 100 plus degree temperatures. I know my brother was saying that it was like 103 yesterday in Missouri, and one of the guys we play EverQuest with was saying it was like 101 where he lives. It's hot in the States. It's hot down here. It's hot everywhere. It's also 104 degrees in England right now. Hmm. So if you don't have air conditioning, stay in the shade if you can. Um, that was one of the first things I did when we moved here because this area is year round 90, 95 degrees. It's like we're putting an AC in. Like I gotta have, and it does okay. It was struggled. It was struggle bus through the month of May when it was like 107 degrees outside. It definitely struggled, but it survived. So I survived as well. So I'm still here. Welcome, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfill, sometimes known as the Bearded Dwarven Princess, until such time as I whack this thing off. Which I'm not gonna lie, September, when Rings of Power comes out, it will be 2 years since I started growing this beard. Um, I have had days when I've wanted to cut it off recently. It's just it's a pain right now. It's constantly getting in the way, and yeah, and I need to just start learning how to, because I had long hair for years and I used to just put my hair up in a bun. I need to learn how to do the beard bun thing because I've seen guys on TikToks who do it. This is not a very tidy bun, by the way. Um, I don't know what it would look like. Something like that. Anyway, you can do a beard. That looks weird. You can do a beard bun. Um, I've not learned how to do that yet, so I need to learn how to do a beard bun. And I should probably trim some off, for maintenance, because I do this all the time, which is a bad habit, and so I've pulled it out, and so it's straggly, and I don't have that great of a beard anyway. People think that it looks good, but the reality is it's a thin beard. You just don't see it. It is what it is. It started off as me just being lazy, and then Chris wanted me to just do it, and then I got committed to saying, well, what's the terminal growth? Um, but I like, for those of you who see, I put a picture up from Ireland a few years ago, and that's the length I like. That's about 6 weeks. You trim it once a month on like number 4 on the clippers, and I'm happy with that length. Let it grow for a month, clip it again. I'm happy with that, and I kept that for years until I did this thing. But I got to keep this until at least we get to the Rings of Power because the bearded dwarven princess persona has become a thing. Um, if you're new here, this is my personal vlog space where I talk about life, love. Often there are cats on the bed. There are not cats on the bed right now. All the cats are outside. We just woke up from naps, so they're out there doing cat things. Luke and Leia slept with us today, along with one of the babies. We were getting to sleep, and then I just heard horrible crying, crying, crying. Open up the door, and Pippin was crying in the middle of the kitchen, so I just called her, and she came running into bed, jumped in bed with us, and immediately went to sleep. So she slept with us this afternoon. We have too many cats, ladies and gentlemen. No one adopted the 5 kittens. If you haven't watched the video that I did a couple days ago, a few days ago by the time this comes out on Monday, please go watch it. It's a rescue cat update. Chris is in the video. It's a 15-minute video where I talk about the situation with the cats. We're definitely gonna do some type of fundraiser. I don't know what that looks like yet. I've had some people reach out to me about, just giving through PayPal. Thank you. For those of you who did reach out, you people reached out on YouTube. You need to reach out to me directly through Discord. I'm not making my PayPal information public out on YouTube for reasons. So if you would like to contribute to the cause and help us get them spayed and neutered and everything else, and you want to do it just through PayPal and directly to us, you could just reach out to me on Discord and we'll do it that way. Um, the number one priority is going to be getting those 5 kittens spayed and neutered, which I estimate to probably be between. I mean, Chris and I talked about the other day. It depends on if we can get the vet to do them at a discount because we've got 5 animals or not. So it'll be between $400 and $500. Um, that includes the easiest solution would just be say it's $500. That is probably high, but that would ensure that we have enough money not just for the spaying and neutering, but also for the meds, because there are a bunch of medications, antibiotics, creams, and ointments, and everything else for the post-op care for the next 7 days after the surgeries. So $500 should get us in the clear for all of the um, spaying and neutering of those 5 animals. So for those of you who have asked about what it's going to cost and et cetera, and how you could help out, just reach out to me on Discord. I'll get you my PayPal and you can contribute towards that, which would be awesome. The rest of it, which is, the cat food, realistically, the cat food doesn't cost that much. That wasn't the cost issue that I was struggling with. The cost issue I'm struggling with is spending $500 on animals that I don't can't have. I can't have them in the house. They cannot be inside animals. They have to be outside animals. By the way, that doesn't cover vaccines. That's just the spaying and neutering. So if we're also talking vaccines for everybody and everything else, that's more money. Um, we haven't even vaccinated Luke and Leia yet. They've gotten the rabies shot, both gotten the rabies shot, but I think it was like, I would have to ask Chris. I think it was $200 or $300 to get all the vaccines done that the vet recommends, of course, which they always, but just to be a responsible pet parent and get all the vaccines that are available. It's several $100s, and now we're looking at 5 more. I really don't. I'm not worried too much about Dora. She's made it 4 or 5 years, however old she is, and I mean, long story short, having animals is expensive. And when she originally showed up, we thought just the one. Watch another video, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, if you want to contribute and help out, you can do so through PayPal. Just reach out to me directly. And you can do it that way. You can also just drop super thanks on these videos and contribute, or if you're on a live stream and do it that way. But PayPal directly, do it that way for now. If I'm gonna build an outside shelter and I'm struggling with whether or not I want to do this or not, that's a GoFundMe thing. More details in the other video, but long and short of it, it's going to be a GoFundMe thing if we do that, which I'm not convinced we are yet. I feel there's a part of me that doesn't want to do that because then I'm literally because I've seen some comments from people like, well, if you can't handle the responsibility of adopting an animal, then you shouldn't adopt the animal. You're not wrong, except we didn't necessarily choose to adopt the animal. The animal showed up on our doorstep. What am I supposed to do at that point? Am I just supposed to be like, yeah, fuck off and go die in a corner because you're a starving little kitten with 2 babies out there? You know, the humane thing to do was adopt that cat and her 2 feral kittens, which we did. I can't control the fact that she was already pregnant with another brood because she's a stray cat. You know what I mean? Like, but we didn't come here expecting to suddenly have 8 animals. So that's not something. You're not wrong, people who have made those comments. You're not wrong. But you're also not right. Like, it's not a black and white scenario. It's a complex moral situation. There are feelings involved. And unlike some people, I actually do have feelings. So stay tuned on all that. But I do, I'd like to give them an outside home, but that's also, that's got to be $2,000 to get all that taken care of. And that's a big ask from a community who has already been supporting Chris and I financially for YouTube content creation and everything else. And I feel bad, like, because the reality is too, we also have a Kickstarter coming down the pipeline for the Weave in the Void. And I had a long talk with my brother the night, and I'm saying, I'm like, I'm already, people are already contributing to my YouTube channel, which is awesome. We're more than halfway to our $750 goal for the month for people doing super thanks and super chats and all the things that the members and everybody else who has been contributing. We've had new patrons over the Patreon page. Like, the growth has been awesome, and I was able to do full-time content creation for the first time ever last month. I'm doing it again this month. We're on track to potentially hit our goal for the month. Um, we've already, you know, like I said, we're more than halfway to our goal already. I don't know where we're at exactly today, but I think we're like around 415, $425 as of today, and we need to do 750 for the month. So I mean, people are already contributing, and we have a Kickstarter coming down the pipeline for the hardback versions of the Weave and the Void. So it's like, you know, I'm already going to be asking people to dip in and contribute to a crowdfunding campaign for the hardback versions of our books, which isn't necessarily something that has to happen because the reality is we already have the product out. The product is already out there. It's a digital ebook. You can buy it today. Like it's already out. We're not doing a Kickstarter for something that might happen in the future. It's, oh, we have a handful of people who want hardback versions of these books, so we're going to do that for them. But the concern that I have is that I'm asking people are already contributing to YouTube and Patreon, and then we're going to be asking them to contribute to a Kickstarter for a a product. And then on top of that, if we do a GoFundMe for the cats, it's like I'm hitting everybody with like three different, four different, five different things, and suddenly I sound like a broken record all the time saying, "Give me money for this, give 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 me money." Does that make sense to everybody? Hopefully that makes sense to you, because that's the way I feel about it. It's not what I have no problem telling people to support me for my content creation. Zero problems doing that because I consider this like Netflix or Hulu. You know, this is a content creation service, and you should support content creation services. It doesn't have to be me. It could be Nathan Napalm. It could be Sparrow. It could be Kel the Reaver. Your chosen content creator, Asmongold, Dr. Disrespect, Joe Rogan. I don't care. But if you are consuming someone's content on a regular basis, there's nothing wrong with supporting that. And I have no problems asking people to support that because I feel that that's fair. If I'm doing 12-hour streams, people should be contributing to that in some way, shape, or form. Like, there are people who will watch for free, and that helps and everything else. That does help with the algorithm. At the end of the day, it is a valid point that Netflix charges for their service. HBO charges, Disney Plus charges, and yeah, people will find creative ways to not pay for the content. But the point I'm making is I have no problems asking people to pay for the content that I consume because I'm providing a service. Same thing with Weave in the Void. I don't have a problem having people pay for that. But I'm starting to feel like a broken record when it comes to the cats. And then if I'm adding a Kickstarter and a GoFundMe on top of the whole help us with the cats, I don't want people to get burned out on that. It's not a fun situation to be in, I'll tell you that much. So for those of you who have been turned off by it recently, imagine how I feel living through it because we did not anticipate having all of these animals and suddenly we do. So hopefully there's a little give and take and people could put themselves in my shoes for a little bit. And because I also realize that people don't have unlimited funding. Random thoughts. Lotro chicken coop build. We did the first video for that. I had a talk with my brother yesterday, which would be 2 days ago by the time this airs. Um, we've only checked with the one place. Chris did not get a chance to ask in her hometown because she was busy with the new baby being born, her grandniece. Um, the prices that this local lumber yard slash hardware store gave me for wood is way high. I mean, it was like U.S. prices, and we shouldn't be paying U.S. prices down here. Now they read it off the computer theoretically, but I didn't see the computer. They didn't give me a spreadsheet. She just wrote it down on a piece of paper. So I don't know if they gave me the gringo price or not. Chris really wants to check prices. And I told her, well, we got to just go. We can't wait around for 3 weeks for you to find someone who can maybe know somebody. Like, you just got to do it now. So next week, I should say this week coming up, the week that we're in as of the airing of this episode, um, she's supposed to be checking and getting confirmation on lumber prices so that I can actually get lumber ordered so that I can start the Lotro chicken coop build. Because people did contribute to that as a stretch goal last month. Um, I'm waiting for the air conditioner fan to come in. It's hot, so I'm trying to get the fan directly on me as I continue recording here. Um, so I got to get going on that build. So we're trying to get our lumber locked down. So as soon as I get lumber locked down, the build starts. And I did a preliminary episode kind of showing people a rough sketch, talking about the lumber prices and everything else. Those lumber prices are a bit high, so we're going to see if we can't get something a little bit cheaper. The desks that we have, well, it's that material back there. It's the white pine that's built out of. This is the material that I want. They didn't have that at the place that I went and looked at, but that's only one place. There are multiple places in town. The guy who built this, and he built the desks, the tables, he's also built the bed frame. I don't know if you guys can see this. If I pull this up, oh, Chris has got. You probably can't see that frame. Ah, it's too low down. You maybe see it. That's the wood right there. It's white pine. It's the same as that. These desks are built out of 1 by 12 slabs. I think they're 1 by 12. I have to go get my tape measure of white pine. And 1 by 4 for the bases, and then square. I really need the exact same material that he built these tables out of. It's the exact same material I want for the chicken coop. So I need to talk to the guy who built these, and he comes into town and he sells his goods on a street corner a few blocks up from us. So what Chris would like to do is go up and ask him, "Hey, can you source us the lumber?" and see what he says. Because he comes from another town. Our issue is that we don't have transport, so I don't know how that would work. But if he could source me the lumber, then I'll just buy directly from him and see what kind of price he gives me. Because I really need. Anyway, food for thought. We're trying to get progress on that front. But I did put up a video for our members Saturday. So if you haven't watched that yet, check it out. A little bit of insight into pre-planning for an estimation and what goes into that. You have to order 25% over, but right now I've kind of I got an idea of based on what they have at that store. But if this guy has this material available and I can buy it from him, it'll probably be cheaper, and these are better boards than what they had at the local store. Because this is the white pine, which is really easy to work with. It's super soft in terms of cutting, but it's durable when it gets weathered. So you build it, you slap some sealer on it, and some weathering, and you're good to go. And now it's the chicken coop. So and this I can cut this all with hand tools. Like, I don't need power tools for this. It's just get a handsaw, speed square, tape measure, pencil. You're good to go. Hammer and nails. Um, so that's that project in progress. I'm doing my first ever live version of Rings of Power. I'm gonna have a live Rings of Power discussion with people on today, actually, after this episode. So this episode airs at 7 o'clock in the morning. At 11 a.m. today, I'm gonna be live, having my first ever live Rings of Power. I'm just curious, how many people are gonna show up? Who wants to have a discussion about things? I've got thoughts. If people want to hang out for a few hours and rant about stuff, let's do it. Um, so that's today. I anticipate an hour, at least doing an hour. We might do 2 hours, but at least doing an hour. Excuse me. We'll do at least an hour and go from there. Hmm. Oh, Chris and I started watching the last season of season 5 of The Last Kingdom. We watched the first 2 episodes yesterday. So good, so good. I cried. Like, it's a tearjerker of a start. Like, they just get you right into it. And that second episode had me in tears like multiple times. Just so good. The acting is so good in that show. Just phenomenal. The costumes, I mean, they've done a really good job, and they're wrapping it up, in a nice way. And as I understand it, they filmed an actual film to wrap it all up after the fifth season has ended. So there's going to be one more final thing to watch after the next Netflix season has ended, and that's a wrap on that. What a journey! What a journey! I mean, it's been a very good show. It's one of the few shows that I've watched from start to finish that I've just felt entertained the entire way. I never felt like there was a filler episode. I never felt like there was any bad writing. It was just good stuff all the way through. So really satisfied with that show, and Chris and I are fully enjoying the final season so far. Um, and there's so much good stuff on Netflix right now. Like we came back to Netflix at a really good time. It was like, we moved, we didn't have time, everything else, and then now that the cats are starting to become more outdoors and more independent, uh, you know, getting the kittens out and everything else, um, we're able to actually watch shows again, and that's been very refreshing to do. We're still only doing it like once a week, maybe. Usually it's on Saturdays. Saturdays we watch episodes for a few hours, like 2 to 3 hours. We'll watch TV on a Saturday afternoon, and it just depends on if I have Minecraft or not. If I don't have Minecraft with my brother and my nephew, then we watch more than 3 hours. But sometimes Chris is watching stuff during the week, as she has a spare moment here and there. But she honestly doesn't have a lot of spare time right now. She's maxed out. Trying to think what else is on the agenda. Um. Oh, Liam did a fan fiction piece set in the world of the Weave of the Void. Liam from Liam's Lyceum, aka Himvar, in our Discord. It's a tasty. It's very short, very very short. I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he wants to let me put it up on the Patreon. Um, if you haven't heard from me yet, Liam, remind me, because I read it yesterday and went, that's pretty good. It's a short little piece. That's a fun. It's just a quick little. It's nothing complex. Not a lot of no plot twists. It's very straightforward. Bing bang boom. 8 pages done. Um, Polish it up a little bit. Put it up on the Patreon page. That'd be a nice treat. Excuse me. May need coffee. Hmm. Looking at the map and I'm just thinking about thoughts here. Gaming stuff is going really well. Streams are going good. Oh yeah, let's talk about some of the new stream stuff. So last couple Sundays I've done Vanguard Saga of Heroes on the in the afternoons. And I was just planning on doing it for myself, for my own enjoyment. Doing that, and then, an hour and a half, 2 hours before our tabletop sessions, just to try to bring more people over to the tabletop streams. Nathan was doing the same with some other games. Well, Nathan saw me playing Vanguard, and he's like, "Man, that sounds like fun. There's some Pantheon Plus people doing Vanguard." So he did a stream last Wednesday, I think, and it blew up. He did an afternoon stream. I've done mine in the afternoons, and I get, a fair amount of people tune in, but I don't have the traffic that Nathan has. He did it, and he got a lot of people. And did another one the following day, had even more people. So then the discussion came up, was like, well, we need to maybe take advantage of this and spin up some sort of a group to play Vanguard together. So that's going to happen. But we don't have any nights free, so we're doing it mornings. Tuesday morning, we're going to be starting at 8 a.m. Central. Now, normally I'm streaming World of Warcraft on Tuesday mornings. Every basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm streaming Warcraft. Um, but starting this week, tomorrow, I'll be streaming Vanguard with Nathan, Sparrow, Brownie Code, Breakout, and Maduros. We're gonna be multi-streaming that tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that. World of Warcraft picking up pace. We're prepping. Wrath of the Lich King is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Once we get the official announcement, the guild is gonna be ready to go. we're on top of that. We're gonna be prepping and doing raiding and everything else. So can't wait. Um, this weekend, well, this week I guess on Thursday, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, somewhere in there, Kunark unlocks for EverQuest TLP, and I'm going to be leveling up my third character, an Ixar Shaman. I've already got him twinked out. Last couple Saturday and Sunday, the last 2 days, we did morning sessions trying to get some items for Nim's character and then for my shaman, and we were able to get a harpoon for him. So he has a full set of withered leather, a shield, and a weapon. I just don't have jewelry at this point, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But I've never played a shaman, and I haven't played an Ixar since that race went live years and years and years and years and years ago in EverQuest. So we're going to be starting that static group on Saturday, 23rd, and I'm going to be doing a 12-hour stream on Saturday. So we're going to have a big goal for that day with super chats and stuff. Um, we're going to be working on those characters 12-hour session on Saturday, so playing from about 7 a.m. until about 7 p.m. is the plan. Streaming that entire day. So hopefully folks tune in for that. That'll be a big day. And then starting the next week, I'll be back to playing on Monday nights again. I'll be playing EverQuest. So we'll be doing Saturday, Sunday morning EverQuest, and then Monday nights on EverQuest. Tuesday nights is Lotro, of course, as always. Wednesday nights is World of Warcraft. Thursday nights is World of Warcraft. Friday nights are P99. I do not stream Saturday nights. That's my night for Chris and or my brother and my nephew doing Minecraft. And then Sunday nights we obviously do D&D. So fun times ahead. I do have a science fiction novel that I was working on before we started Weaving the Void, and it has been bugging me that it's not finished. Because I've never actually sent a book through the ringer before, like doing the agent song and dance. And I feel like now would be a good time. And that's what that book was originally supposed to be done for, was to get it done, written, polished, and then sent out to agents and just do the agent song and dance, see if I can't actually get an agent. Because there are things that we're doing with the Weave in the Void which would benefit from having an agent invested enough in what I'm doing as a writer who wants to be involved with that. We shall see. But if I'm going to do that, I have to find the time to finish writing that book because it's only about. Man, how far am I into that? I'm going to go look right now. Minimize that. We're going to look here. I have a scratch and a bite on my nose from the kittens. Cats, ladies and gentlemen. I am 38,000 words into this novel. Looks like I had just started chapter, or I'm partially through chapter 13. I was shooting for 3,000 word chapters, and I was shooting for 30 chapters. So I wanted to do a 90,000 word novel. So I'm 40,000 words in. I'm halfway-ish. Not quite halfway. Getting there. It may not end up being 90,000. That was just sort of like the guideline. I have a rough outline, but not a chapter by chapter outline. That one I went in going, Weave and Void, I have a chapter by chapter outline. That novel, I just have a storyboard type outline where it says these are the main plot points, and I'm just trying to hit those main plot points as I go along. Anything that crops up in between. But I haven't touched it now for over a year. Like I was doing that before we started Weaving the Void. And then Weaving Void dropped, and I haven't finished it up, so it just got stuck on the shelf. It has been bugging me that I don't have that finished. There's a part of me that wants to try to find time. I have no time. What am I talking about? Like, I'm doing 8 hours of streaming a day right now. I'm doing 4 hours every morning, 4 hours every evening. So I do 7 to 11 every morning, and I do 5 to 9 every night. Most every night. Saturday being the exception. And then I don't usually stream Monday mornings, so there's a slight break in there. And then I do video production. in between that. So I try to do a video almost every single day. So there's video production. And on top of that, I have all of this stuff going on with the Weave and the Void. So prepping the Kickstarter, doing the writing, scene descriptions for my brother. I got to do quests and dialogue for the point and click game. I got to work on chapter 23, which is coming out this week. Art direction, getting the new artwork from Nathan, putting it into the book, updating the book, doing the Patreon posts 3 times a week. Um, and we're about to the point where we're ready to start doing heavy marketing on it, because we're about 6 episodes in now to the point and click or to the D&D campaign. So I do a lot of stuff with Weave in the Void. We were talking about this the other day, actually. Nathan and I, we were playing EverQuest 2 on Saturday, and we were just talking about the things that we do. Like he does Cringe Pony, he makes new puppets. He has to film those episodes. He has to do all the songs. It's a lot of work to put those Cringe Pony episodes together. So he's doing that on top of doing artwork. I'm doing this and I'm doing all the Weave in the Void stuff, and it's like it would be awesome to be in a position to be someone like Asmongold who just plays video games for 12 hours a day and then has a team who just goes and cuts all the video clips together and puts them out on YouTube. It would be awesome to be in that position, but I'm not because I work on this 30, 40 hours a week. If I wasn't working on that, I would be happy to sit here. I did a 12-hour stream the other day. It was good. Financially, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I did struggle a little bit in the middle because I am very much accustomed to an afternoon nap. Like 11, 12 o'clock, because I go to bed early and I get up early. I go to bed by 10 o'clock usually. 10, 11. It's rare that I'm up still at 11 o'clock. I usually am in bed by 9:30, 10, and I'm done by 10 o'clock. But then I get up at 5:36. Um, so I do that 7 to 11 bracket. I shut down at 11 and I go take a nap for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Get back up 1 o'clock, have lunch, have a shower, do some stuff with Chris, and then boom, do my video production, do whatever I need to do for the Weave in the Void. Then boom, I'm back at it streaming by 5 o'clock. Stream till 9. I'm done. Hang out on TikTok, talk with Chris, go to sleep. That's my routine. That is my routine. Um, so I do 12-hour days in front of a computer, which is not healthy. Yeah, we don't talk about the belly fat. I know Nathan shows his belly all the time. I'm not quite brave enough to show my belly very often. Um, anyway, it's 12 hours a day. Where do I find time to write another project? You know what I mean? Like I would have to just sacrifice one of my streaming sessions is what it would come down to. Because I can't sacrifice the Weave and the Void stuff because that has to happen. However, I'm only hitting the numbers that I'm hitting financially with YouTube content creation and streaming because I'm streaming 8 hours a day. If I cut one of those sessions out, I'm going to have my income and I can't survive on that. Like we need the income that those streams bring in. So it's a catch 22 where it's like I'd love to finish that book, but I don't have time to finish the book because I can't stop streaming to do that because I need the income that I'm bringing in from streaming, if that makes sense. When and if the channel grows to the point where it's bringing in a surplus, then I can consider reducing the streaming and spending more time working on side projects like that. But right for now, this thing we're a year and a half in, and we already got the one product out. We're trying to get the point and click game out by the end of the year. The book is a chapter at a time. Building up the Patreon page. It's also a thing too where if the Patreon gets big enough, that'll support us all as well, and there's more free time at that point as well. But that's a split project because that's split 2 ways right now. Patreon gets split between my brother and I, and then we're trying to get it big enough so that we can, if we get that up to $3,000 a month, then we're splitting that with Nathan, and have him doing art full time. Not full time, but you know what I mean. Like he would be the third party to that, doing art as a contractor for us on a regular basis. But it takes time to build something up to that point, and it is growing, which is great. I'm grateful to everybody. I mean, at one point I think we were up to like 25 people on the Patreon page. I think we've dipped back down to like 22, 23 right now, and it varies every month. But usually we end up having a net growth of 2 to 3 people every month, which is awesome. It's been very steady over the past year. Um, it's all growing, which is all good things. Um, all right, final thoughts before I wrap up. I did a post as I'm recording this, right before I recorded this on Sunday. I did a poll on YouTube. I'd love your thoughts. So since we moved in here, I've been recording the footage. I'd just do a video about this, but here's the long and short of it. Go check out the poll. Let me know your thoughts. Should I do the documentation stuff here on YouTube, or should I do it over on my old Marginal Boundaries channel? Because it'll screw up the algorithm. But if it's what people want, I don't care if it screws up the algorithm because it's what gets people to subscribe and do memberships and be tuned into the channel and follow along our journey and our adventure and who I am as a person and who Chris is and our cat adventures and life between Southeast Mexico and Southwest Missouri and splitting time between the United States and here. And like we have a unique story to tell, and there are people who may want to be a part of that. And I don't have a problem saying screw the algorithm if it's gonna get more people involved in the channel and build up the following and build up the finances and everything else. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. So go vote on the poll. Let me know. This has been another good episode, shorter than last week's. We're not doing a 45-minute episode this week. We're coming in at 36 minutes. So thanks everybody. Don't forget, live today at 11. Mondays in Middle Earth live. We're gonna do a Rings of Power rant discussion. Discussion. See you then.